Hello and welcome. It's time for another Tuesday mini workshop. I'm Margaret Ann Lembo, and I'm here with you for the purpose of sharing with you about my book, Color Your Life with Crystals, your first guide to crystals, colors, and chakras. So, I want to tell you a little story about this book. So, I had already written Chakra Awakening, and I was sitting at the front desk at my store, the Crystal Garden, which is where I am right now. I'm not at the front desk, I'm in the angel room, but I was sitting at the store and the phone rang and I knew, well, first, let me back up. And so I was taking care of customers. This is a different day. I forgot. I have to start from the beginning. And a little boy comes up to me with a little tiny book from one of the, oracle decks. And he said, "Is this for me?" And I said, "What do you mean, is that for you?" He said, "Like, is this a book that I could read and learn about crystals?" And I said, not really. That's actually part of another, another deck here. But let me see if I can find you a book on crystals for children. So I did some research in there. I couldn't find any. So I thought, oh man, I just published Chakra Awakening. Maybe I can write another book on, for young readers, a title that's going to be easy for children to read, like a metaphysical primer. And so within short time, now we can go to me sitting at the front desk. So I'm sitting at my front desk, and the phone rings, and it's somebody from the publishing house called Findhorn Press. You can see the Findhorn Press on the front of this on this right hand side under Earth Dancer. And they wanted to sell me books because I'm a bookstore here. The Crystal Garden is. I'm not. The Crystal Garden is. And I talked to them. I said, "Hey, yes, I definitely want to buy books from Findhorn. I love Findhorn, and that's for another story that I'll tell you another time about Findhorn." But I said, "But by any chance, do you know any publishers that publish, metaphysical titles for young readers?" And he said, "Well, not normally. I don't know many, but you know what? Why don't you send me like a draft and I'll, see if anybody here is interested." Well, one of their imprints, Earth Dancer, very much loved the idea. And so basically what happened is I wrote Color Your Life with Crystals for ages 7 to 12 years old, although many, many adults have purchased this book because it's so easy and so pretty. And it ended up working out that it was like a young reader's version of Chakra Awakening. So that was probably more information that you wanted to hear, but I just loved how synchronistic it was. It wasn't like long after I decided that I like, who better, I thought to myself, who better to write a book for young readers than me, because I wrote Chakra Awakening, and I'm still very childlike in my personality. So maybe that would work. Anyway, so it sure did, and I dedicated this, as you can see, to all the children of the world, for all parents everywhere, because which parent doesn't need a good book to read to their child, and to all my cousins and nieces and nephews whom I love so much. So this book has beautiful imagery you'll see in a moment, and I go through basically how to use crystals and gemstones and the crystals and how to work with them for the rainbow body. And there's a glossary and an easy reference chart, and we'll go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you more right now. So one of the things that I love about this book is that the activities are very obvious. So you read and then you do an activity. And I think that's fantastic for children and adults alike, because it actually helps us to integrate what we just learned, what we just read, because we take into action what we just, read, and hopefully can remember and make a part of our life. So in this case, I talk about how valuable it is to use visualization. In fact, here in the green, visualization is when you use your imagination to mentally see something, even though it is not in front of you. Visualizing is making a mental picture or creating images in your mind. I learned about this when I was a little girl. I was blessed with someone who taught me about Edgar Cayce and the power of positive thought and how our intentions create reality. So I was probably 4, 5, 6 years old when I started understanding these concepts. So these are tools that I have in the toolbox are having good thoughts, looking at things in a positive way, working with pretty crystals. That's my thing. You having a vivid imagination, the ability to visualize, the magic of believing that anything is possible, and the willingness to try because you don't know if you don't try, right? Exactly. That's my father told me that all the time when I was growing up. I'm like, Dad, do you think I should blah, blah, blah? And he'd be like, well, you don't know until you try. So just do it and see what happens. You can always do something else. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. And that's how I've been living my life. And I highly recommend it. So the activity is to make, and you might want to do this either after when this is over, name three intentions that you would like to have happen. And then just write it down and start with that. So let's just pause here for the chakra system. We just went through this with the meditation for those of you that were as part of the meditation. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, then know that there is a meditation to activate the rainbow body recorded on the same day as this workshop. So when you're looking at my YouTube channel, you can find it very easily. So this is literally an excerpt out of my book that I copied and pasted here for you to see that really outlines where the chakras are. And in this book, I call the sacral chakra, or what I also call the navel chakra, I call it the belly chakra for the children. But it's also a good way to remember where that is. If I said sacral, not everybody knows what sacral means, so that helps. So what I'm going to do now is go through each chapter, but not the whole chapter, just excerpts out of the chapter so you can see, have a look into this wonderful book. It's also available on Kindle, just so you know, and it's very pretty on Kindle as well, because I also got it on Kindle. I love to get my books on virtually too, so it's easy to research or to search for something. So you can see that with here that there's the mandala. This is a Sanskrit mandala to that is the root chakra symbol. That's right below where it says red energy, physical energy, earth connection, and survival needs. Those are the key words for red energy or the root chakra. And then what chakra, what colors match with this chakra, which is black, brown, metallic, gray, and red. What stones could be beneficial, other stones that you might want to bring in for balance, and we'll talk about, using the complementary colors and also keywords. What are the keywords that match the root chakra? So grounding, health, money, nutrition, protection, and safety. So now you can see that in the inserts, there's all these little examples of things that you can do so you can take action with what you read. And that I think is good no matter what age you're at. So I like this one. If you have too much red energy, meaning that you're being aggressive or cranky or agitated, you can imagine, see on the page 21, the second box, imagine recycling extra red energy by sending it out of your feet, back down your roots, and into the earth. And that will help you get rid of excess red energy. Also translates to anger, frustration, being nasty to people, attracting nasty people, things of that nature. So, but the other thing you can do is use complementary colors of green and blue in stones like chrysocolla and green aventurine or sodalite. So hematite, this is one of my favorite exercises. I'm not going to read the page about the hematite, which you can do if you just choose to get the book. But take a look at this activity. And this is one of my favorite visualizations that has no matter what age, which is to visualize yourself inside a rose quartz crystal ball, a pink crystal ball. And imagine that the outside of the rose quartz ball has a layer of hematite. So know that the hematite pushes away anything that's scary or uncomfortable, and that the rose quartz increases feelings of safety and happiness. So try that. Like maybe it's a moment in time when you're upset or you're frustrated or you're scared. I highly recommend just imagining that you're inside this huge rose quartz sphere and that there's a layer, kind of like a crystal peanut M&M, don't eat the rocks, a crystal peanut M&M where you're the peanut, the M&M part, the chocolate part would be the rose quartz, and then the hematite would be that shell on the outside of that, just like with M&Ms. That's my analogy. And then what that does is because there's, as you can see with this picture here, the hematite is shiny and will deflect anything that's no longer for your highest good. And the rose quartz make you feel loved and warm and cozy. So now we're moving into the belly chakra, also known as the navel or sacral chakra. And this is the chakra I relate to most in regard to creativity and taking action and being really making things happen. Because between the red energy at the root, the orange energy at the belly, and then the yellow energy at the solar plexus, you have the ability to take action and move forward with confidence. That's what sums it up. And the lower three chakras of the red, the orange, and the yellow are the part of us that are about being in a physical body and living here on planet Earth, spiritual beings on the planet in this moment. Now, what if you have too much orange energy? You may be too emotional or hyperactive without meaning to be. You might even feel like crying. So here's an exercise. Imagine the colors blue and green flowing around you. Place a chrysocolla or malachite in your hand. And what's pictured on the screen here is chrysocolla, which is malachite, azurite, and cuprite. Connect with the feelings you're having, the emotional feelings that you're having, and imagine that you could put those feelings inside the stone in your hand. Now look at the stone and those feelings like you're watching a movie and see how you feel when you complete the visualization. So you can try this when you're having an emotional day, even if you just envision yourself enveloped inside of a blue-green sphere of light. Yep, works. I've done it many times. So because the orange energy at the navel or belly chakra is about creativity, I like to recommend that you do something creative. So get a piece of paper and colored pencils or crayons or even paint or markers and let yourself draw what you're feeling. Notice what colors you chose. And as you continue to read through this particular book, look at the drawing to note the meaning of the colors because the colors you're attracted to definitely has meaning. It actually was the foundation of all my gemstone oracles, is that based on what we're attracted to, reveals what's going on inside of us, even when we sometimes don't even know ourselves what's going on inside of us. Now, I pictured here orange calcite, and this is it's really helpful orange calcite when you're going through change. And I just want to read this affirmation. Change is good. I easily shift into this next part of my life. I easily visualize and imagine good things in my life. I have balanced emotions. So that's really helpful for the emotional aspect. Now, the solar plexus, yellow energy. So this is the solar plexus is the place of confidence and the ability to see life clearly and being happy. And as you can see, I've written on top, be all that you can be. So here you have the Sanskrit mandala for the solar plexus. And the key words are self-confidence, mental clarity, happiness, and courage. And imagine yourself, and even we did this during the meditation, imagine you have the sun shining brightly from your solar plexus. So on a day that you're not feeling very confident, nobody even would know that you're doing that, visualizing, imagining that. So just let yourself in that moment where you're maybe feeling meh, a little overwhelmed and not so confident. It's like, okay, I'm going to remember, I'm going to visualize myself as if I have the sun shining brightly at my solar plexus coming and I'm shining in front of me and behind me, brilliant light. I bet you anything somebody might say to you, oh, you're radiant today. You look so good. Believe me, it works. So the activity that is really helpful for the solar plexus is to name things that make you magnificent. So list them. Don't have to just do three. Do as many compliments to yourself as you can think of. Then hold a citrine in your hand, because citrine is one of the best stones for activating the vibration of yellow and self-confidence at the solar plexus level. Hold a citrine in your hand and then come up with more things that make you magnificent. So tiger's eye, I wanted to bring up because this is one of the best stones for clearing out negativity, or if other people are jealous of you, or if you're a little jealous of somebody else and you want to get rid of that vibe. So, this stone, as well as all these stones, apatite, amethyst, citrine, amber, goldstone, jasper, malachite, peridot, and tiger's eye, which are listed in this particular chapter, are stones that can help you with overcoming having low self-esteem and increasing safety and self-confidence. Now, the green at the heart center, green and pink energy as well. And this is the place of love, compassion, kindness, and friendships. So look at that green box on the right-hand side. Imagine beautiful green and pink light streaming from out of the center of your chest. To get your imagination flowing, visualize yourself walking in green-filled nature with a pink cotton candy in your hand. How fun is that? So it's for visualization purposes. Sometimes we need to be creative to get ourselves to imagine the various colors. Now, I want to read the first paragraph on the left-hand side, or at least part of it. Look at this. Or listen. You are love. All that you are and all that you do, say, think, feel, smell, taste, or know is love. Remember that truth, and you will be happy and healthy all the days of your life. You are love. Yes, you are. So chrysoprase is one of my favorite stones. I want you to notice. You notice I put the pronunciation chrysoprase. So I see how it says Chris, Kris hyphen O, and then praise, like you're going to praise somebody. So people and children, because this is meant to be for a young reader, ages 7 to 12, they know how to pronounce it. And even chalcedony, chrysoprase is a member of the chalcedony family. So I'll be honest, for the longest time, I called chalcedony. I did. And I had a rock dealer that I work, buy a lot of rocks from, that took me aside and she said, Margaret, it's chalcedony. You need to say it the right way, because this is what you do. So it's chalcedony. And chrysoprase is a chalcedony that's like a seafoam green color. I love this stone, and I think the color of it is fantastic. A lot of us who here at the Crystal Garden love this color. So an activity to work on, if you want to, is to choose some stones that you could that you use at school, that you could use at home, as well as with friends. The answer to this activity is all of the above. You want to use gemstones, heart chakra gemstones, as often as possible, or focus on those colors to help you activate your ability to be love and feel love and be loving. So the light blue energy at the throat chakra is the place of communication and working with angels and invisible helpers and being honest, speaking the truth, knowing your truth, and living the truth. The colors of the sky. And I want to show you one of my favorite throat chakra gemstones, which is amazonite, the stone of truth and honesty. So this is when you want to feel like you have the courage to know your truth live your truth, speak your truth, and be your truth. So, first, you have to know it. Then, once you know what it is, then you practice living your truth. Then, once you feel like you're living it, then you can possibly speak it, feel comfortable in talking about it, and then going further, and you just are your truth. You be your truth. You are who you are in truth. So you can use Amazonite to attract people in your life who act with honesty and integrity. I know I went through a period of time where I was attracting people who were not in integrity and weren't honest. So that was a gemstone I work with often, Amazonite, to help me be more able to vibrate at such a rate that I was attracting people who are honest and in integrity. So an activity you can use with Amazonite is think about something you wanted to say but have not said. Close your eyes, use your imagination, and make believe you're saying what you need to say. So you're practicing as well when you do that too. It's called scripting. When you have finished visualizing and feel you have communicated all you need to share, you can draw a picture that represents how you feel. So that's good for children, but also if you want to take it a step further for yourself, we still have the child within. So that's a very beneficial thing. The Amazonite positive thought affirmation is I am surrounded by honest people of integrity. I live my truth and speak my truth with ease. I speak clearly. I easily find the words to express myself. So now at the third eye center, which is the dark blue or purple energy, this is the place of inner knowing, intuition, and telepathy. And this was a uncorrected proof. So the keywords under next to where it says keywords there, that is not correct because this is I was taking from an uncorrected proof here on this PDF. So the keywords inner knowing, intuition, and telepathy. Now I want to point out on the right hand page, page 84 here. Notice clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairgustation, and clairolfaction. Those are our six senses. We see clairvoyance, we hear clairaudience, we know, that's claircognizance, we feel, that's clairsentience, we taste, that's one of our senses, clairgustation, and we hear, clairolfaction. I mean, we smell, is what I meant to say. We smell, clairolfaction. So when it comes to the six senses that are beyond the ordinary, which is our intuition, our ability to know something, that's what they're called. They're clairs. I call them the six clairs. Oh, you know what? It would be fun to go back to that page for a sec. Well, I'll just tell you what I was gonna. So when I was a little girl, I learned telepathy. My mother taught me when I was really young. My sister, she taught too. We were together. So we didn't have cell phones back in the day. We didn't have answering machines, and my father was a contractor. So he was not in the office. And so, he had an office, but he wasn't necessarily, he was maybe on a job. We would telepathically send him a message, mind to mind and heart to heart, and visualize him going to a phone and calling home. And we'd visualize him dialing, and we had rotary dial back then, dialing the number. It was like SH5 6000 or something like that. It was like, but it was one way to also memorize our cell phone, our phone number, our landline, but also visualizing the rotary and him doing that. And you know what? I would say 9 out of 10 times it worked. He picked up the vibe and he would call, "Everything good? You guys needed to talk to me?" Works. So there you have it. So at the crown chakra, this is the place of the miracle worker, unlimited potential, your connection to God, and higher intuition. So I like to imagine a connection between myself and the divine, typically with an open heart, but also with white light coming through the crown of my head. So I highly recommend that. You can use some selenite, you can hold some in your hand or put it around you, maybe an amethyst. And imagine that white light coming in and around you and growing out of the soles of your feet. And a version of what I just said is in that purple box right there. So balanced energy, balanced white energy, because in this book, I really get clear on when you're balanced, it's like this, but when you're out of balance, you may feel like this. So it goes through that in each chapter for each of the chakras. So if you know any children or parents or both, this is a really great book for really positive thought and how to help them deal with life situations. Or you may want to use the book for the same reason. So the activity here is about connecting with the angels or spiritual beings and encouraging children to feel comfortable in talking about, or in this case, writing down about at least 3 times that you have felt angels or spiritual beings around you. How did that make you feel? What would you like to feel that more often? If so, why? And if not, why not? And then they can investigate how, a child or yourself may feel about having the angelic realm and spiritual beings be more palpable. So this is like one of the last pages of the book, and I just love it because it shows this adorable boy. This was actually the man who was my photographer for all of my gemstones. This is his son. So from your pocket to your heart, these sparkling treasures are gifts from the earth that become your tools. Use them with good thoughts to help you remember to always look at the positive in everything. This simple, these simple stones and this basic principle will help you be all that you can be and anything you can imagine. Use these beautiful stones to ignite the part of you that knows all you need to know. The magic of belief opens the door to everything. Be willing to try and know that anything is possible. May your life be filled with rainbow light and crystal blessings. I like that as the ending of my book. Yay! So just so you know, let me compliment myself. So I have a glossary, and this is just one page of the glossary in the back of the book. There's a crystal easy reference. This is just the very beginning of the crystal easy reference where you can look up what each stone means in a short synopsis, and also an easy reference for life challenges. In this case, like if you have an argument with your parents for a child, let's say, or an argument with anybody, maybe you want to work with amethyst, blue lace agate, chrysocolla, lapis lazuli, rose quartz, or sodalite. So I give suggestions on how to help you if you're having a specific life challenge. Easy reference, just that short and sweet, just like that. Well, we're done for tonight, and I want to say thank you for being part of this and letting me share with you about the book. But also, I hope that you learned a little about finding peace and helpfulness in your life with the crystals, with the chakras, with the colors of the rainbow, and all of that. Now we're going to start in about 2 to 4 minutes, depending on how quickly I finish this up. A Shop the Crystal Garden from Home on Facebook. It's not alternating Tuesdays, it's every Tuesday. The other Tuesdays we start at 6. And so I encourage you to join. I have some really beautiful things that I have purchased, and this week and next week are going to be amazing. And also, if you've missed prior meditations, or you want to go back and listen to another one, or if you want to listen to a workshop to uplift you and inspire you, go to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Do me the favor. Do yourself the favor. Well, I want to thank you for attending. Keep in mind that my new deck, Essential Oils and Gemstone Guardians cards, is coming out in November. It's right around the corner. It's already October. Yay! So thanks again for being here tonight. I wish you lots of love and many blessings. In fact, may your days be filled with blessings and love, and may the angels light your path. Thanks so much.